Okay. Okay, so I'm Ethan Ling, and for my analysis and redesign challenge, I'm gonna choose the table lamp, which is a pretty daily stuff, and we can often see in our lives. So for the direct and indirect stakeholders, it's pretty easy for us to distinguish it. The direct stakeholders are people who use the table lamp directly, and the indirect stakeholders are the people who don't directly use the table lamps but affected by its success or failure. And the primary motivation of the direct stakeholders and needs for the light source in the dark, because they might need it to like read, study, learn, something like that, or work. And what we current know is we are able to study in the dark, and but some table lamps are pretty, some are not good, and so what's at stake for those stakeholders, the danger to find the table lamps in the dark. Also, the difficulty is to choose the brightness they want. And my research methods are the online websites and the news about the user experience of table lamps. And the insights will be the current table lamps is able to like satisfy the demands for people, but there's still some downsides. And for the indirect stakeholders, the main motivations are like earning money or profit, which is you know uh the companies mainly want to do, and also you will like it might help to provide people better or convenient or more convenient user experience. And what's at stake for them is the table lamps suddenly occurs lighting or quality problems. So yeah, so the issue one for the design critic is it's an accessibility issue. So as you guys can see, this one is the table lamp in the dark. This one is the table lamp, the actual position of this table lamp. So actually, this one is my table lamp, but even though I know the exact position of that table lamp, it's pretty hard to turn it on to in the dark. We might bounce or crash or something, or might hit our heads, or which is pretty hard for us to to know where exactly it is. So and why I chose this issue is by asking my grandmother. And in this case, it affects the stakeholders by hard to find the table lamps in dark. And for the second issue is usability issue, because as you guys can see, this one is the typical table lamps which we can often see in the daily lives. It only has one button or switch. This one is a close-up of those button or switches. So maybe so it can only like turn it on and off, but not adjust the brightness. So I asked my friends and also search on websites, and I learned that the requirements of the brightness of the table lamps are different in different cases. Um, because many people needs different brightness in different cases, uh, like getting up in the morning, like studying or reading, which they need different certain of the brightness. So that is the case, and it affects the stakeholders by the inability to switch the different brightness in different cases. And this one is the my Redesign draft one. So I installed a microphone here, and I plugged the sound sensor, which can sense the voice, and the integrated circuit, which can magnify the voice inside of the microphone. So in this case, it can automatically turn the lamp, the table lamp on when it receives the sounds. And for the issues too, I installed a touch bar on the base. So when you like swipe your fingers on touch bar, you can choose from the medium brightness to the maximum brightness. And so in this case, it can help the users to track the position of the lamps in the dark. And the limitations are still quite clear uh, because sometimes we carelessly like input the sound when we might shout or say the word, and that the table lamps automatically turn on, but we don't want it. So that is the case we might talk about later. And for the issues too, it can help stakeholders by just simply swiping the finger to choose the brightness they want. And my assumptions would be the newest table lamp could make users freely choose the brightness they want in the different cases. But the limitation is quite clear because the limited technology support and the needs to make the touch bar more sensitive is the limitations we face. And yeah, because the changes because I mainly focus on those two issues, and the changes I propose that I think are important and improves the needs for the stakeholders because I precisely focusing on those issues and render the most feasible solution as possible as I could.